With the 1000 guineas hype just getting over, like I've been saying in all my videos, and now we're moving on to attacking, literally attacking the Calcutta 2000 guineas. I have with me this evening trainer Daniel David, trainer James, and Cyrus Stewart of Royal Calcutta Turf Club. I don't know why I feel very, proud to say that. So, like I said, we're literally attacking the Calcutta 2000 guineas right now, but I think the best man to do what he does while you can see all our faces is sitting here, Mr. Cyrus. So he's going to do the unmasking as always, so let's go for it.
Well, let's go with unmasking. It's always a pleasure to see Melissa unmasked. I don't know how much it is a pleasure to watch us unmasked, but that's a separate issue. Whether we're going to unmask the guineas on Friday is another point, absolutely. So, second classic of the season, Melissa, and we saw quite a bit of excitement in the first, didn't we?
Yes, for sure. We were all screaming.
And thank you, Danny, and thank you, James, for being with us.
Pleasure, sir.
As we look into trying to unravel what everyone says is a very easy guineas, but the 1000 guineas was supposed to have been as easy as well. Didn't work out that way. So let's see what we can find here. We've got 6 runners lining up to face the starter, and 3 of them from the Vijay Singh stable. So if you go with figures, 50% of the runners from Vijay Singh. So let's start with James, and Melissa, can I have your leave to take him on with Black Pearl? Okay? So Black Pearl, unbeaten in 4 starts, half brother to one of the best horses you've ever trained, Adjudicate. You've seen them both. You haven't trained the youngster, but how do you rate him? He's done everything right, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, up until the end of last winter, he had not put a foot wrong. And while he was a late foal, he didn't look the best, but his performance was outstanding. So as we got towards the end of winter, I thought he actually was getting better and looking better.
Well, I think the big question everybody is asking, and we're waiting for Melissa to go across and ask Vijay Singh that, and that is, why hasn't he given him a lead-up race? Is it because he's a small, light-framed horse, so he doesn't want to tax him too much? Or is it because he had an issue and he didn't want to show him out early? We wait for Melissa to tell us that. You're going to be on the rack when you go in and ask him that, aren't you?
Of course, and he's lucky to have Black Pearl, and I was just telling Danny, he's got Black Pearl and where are my pearls? So I would be bringing you that update soon enough.
So, he's the highest rated horse in the race, Danny, at 67, and if you take his average winning distances, it works out to almost 9 lengths a race. So each of his 4 wins has been an average of 9 lengths average. Tremendous performance, as James said. He hasn't put a foot wrong. But it's been quite a while since he last raced. What do you feel? Do you think he should be firing on all cylinders first time out?
Well, Cyrus, Black Pearl, I don't know if I have pearls of wisdom to offer here, but definitely Black Pearl's precocious, first season and debut season performances speak for itself. It's the leading colt of the Calcutta last season, the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. Of course, the long gap would be a challenge for any trainer, and Black Pearl has been, with Vijay for so long from the time it started racing, and the way he's performed, I'm sure Vijay knows how to turn out another stellar performance from a quality product like Black Pearl.
Absolutely. I mean, if there's one man who knows his onions, it's Vijay Singh, and he certainly knows what he's got with Black Pearl. Well, we move to the outstation challenger, and that's number 2, Casanova Prince. Have you managed to speak to Faisal at all?
Yes, I have, and he seemed to be very happy to be here at Calcutta. I think the horse looks like a Casanova to what I've seen. I find all horses looking like that. So let's see how he does.
He's by, what's the script out of Winged Light, half brother to Magnum Opus, but never been beyond 1400 meters. And looking at the half brother that he's had, they all seem to be very happy over a sprint. So what do you think? He's Raced quite sparingly, James, but on the breeding side, from the dam side, you think the mile is okay for him?
It should be. I mean, at this point, it's going to be hard to say that any horse not under the mile gives 2 runs. And first run's not 1, so it's very hard. This is the experience. Very hard to make in judgment from us. We've not traced it. It's going to be very hard.
He's still a maiden and comes into the Guineas rated at 40. And number 3, Court Jester from the Vijay Singh camp, and this one will be sporting the same colours as Black Pearl. In all probability, he just could be the pacemaker in the race, and to make sure that it's a genuinely run mile, because otherwise he's had 2 wins from 4 starts, but both of them 1200 meters. He's never been beyond that. So the question is he really just a pacemaker, or does he have a genuine chance? Danny, what do you feel?
Cyrus, Court Jester has won 2 races out of his 4 starts and also placed the 2nd and the 4th. So it's a small field. Court Jester obviously doesn't come in as the top pick from Vijay's yard. He's got 2 other, very well performed horses. So Court Jester could be, as you said rightly, I do agree with you, could be a horse which is there to, set the pace. However, horses like Black Pearl and Supreme Legacy, both from the same stable, I don't know if they really would appreciate, a pace from a horse of Court Jester's caliber for how long in the race. So the tactics will play, will be very important, and in a small field like
Well, they let a pacemaker go too far in front, they'll suddenly find that he's the joker in the pack. But we wait to find out on that. And number 4 is Mountain Lion. He comes in from Bangalore, trained by Neil Darasha and to be ridden by Srinath. Now this is the duo who just picked up the Calcutta 1000 Guineas, so they're going to be fancying their chances. Didn't have the greatest of lead-up races, did he, James?
No, I've been sort of races, but again, all the horses running first time off a long layoff. Some races, gaining weight and beating. Now, he did not look impressive that day, but trainer seems to be quite confident that he wasn't anywhere ready. He would need the race a lot. So obviously we'll see the improvement or not improvement in this race.
Absolutely, and he's had a very good run in the winter when he ran 2nd in the Mystical Million, if I'm not mistaken, behind Nisus. So he certainly has got very short form. If you look at that, he was just 3 parts of a length behind. The question here also is he's never been the mile, but I think he should get that quite comfortably, looking at the way he races. Melissa, have you managed to get to Neil yet, or you're waiting for him to come back to Calcutta?
No, I am waiting for him to come back, and like I said, he's trainer with swag, so he'll make that last minute entry.
I think he's going to think you're his lucky charm, because you came out and interviewed him with the violin, and she played the right song for him, didn't she? And the Mountain Lion's going to be ridden by Srinath, and he's going to run a big race, that's for sure. In fact, the handicapper has given him an 8-pound penalty for running almost 4 lengths behind Silver Bracelet. And I wonder what went behind that. I think he did probably go overweight to start with, but even then. So, number 5, Right Move, trained by James McEwen. So we're not going to start with James. We're going to ask Danny David a little bit about Right Move. He's a half-brother to Phi Brave, and he's still a maiden in 3 starts. Danny, rated at 30, the lowest rated horse in the race. But James has pulled quite a few out of the hat, hasn't he?
I do agree, Cyrus. And it's an unfair question. You're asking me about Right Move with James right here. But all I can tell you is, in the big races, I'm sure James knows how to make his horses make the right move. So I wish you all the best, my friend.
You see, that was the right move made now, playing safe.
Coming to his last run though, I think you've got to pull a bit of a rabbit out of the hat, to be honest. So I wish you luck. The last run, he's a big, strong horse. Could be another Trafalgar, that's all I could say. Fingers crossed.
James, can you enlighten us a little on Right Move?
Yeah, basically, he's a horse, like you said, a big strong horse, one of the strongest horses I've had. The problem is obviously the lack of experience. And last season he was very active, And it's just coming along nicely. The summer and monsoon would have been where we found out whether he's the real deal or not. But the first time out this season, again, got beat by Joy, that didn't run fantastically in Guineas, but both I think are going to be long distance horses. So I'd always counted this race longer plans going to Derby, so we're continuing on with that plan this year. I must say he's looking fantastic.
Well, he certainly pulled out quite a rabbit with Apsara Star. She ran one hell of a race in the Guineas to be a close third. And let's see if Right Move is going to do the same. So Melissa, we've got Supreme Legacy. Now that's the third runner from the Vijay Singh camp. Now you've got to talk to him about all three, and you've got to muddle him up a bit so he loses track of what exactly you're asking him. It's very difficult to do with Vijay, but if one person can, you just might throw him off a bit. Now, tell us a little about Supreme Legacy. I mean, he's just run twice, and what is your thought on him? What do you think about it?
Honestly, if I have to say something from all the 6 horses, I would...
First just go with Supreme.
According to me,
Yeah.
about Supreme Legacy, out of the 6, I think I like him the best, even though people might have their views on Black Pearl. I think Supreme Legacy probably would beat his stablemate to what I would want. I don't know, I just have that in mind. And I think experts are sitting in front,
Right.
they'd know better.
The Supreme Legacy, a full brother to Speaking of Stars. Now that's the one that won the Mystical Million. I'm sorry, not the nicest. But here's a horse who's unbeaten in both his starts. Both have been very impressive. He's won well in Class 3. Little lacking on the experience and rated at 64. James?
Well, I think you see we're looking for sort of less racing than we've had. We're kind of looking for some kind of form between Supreme Legacy, Black Pearl, even Pinatubo had run 3 times, and second to Supreme Legacy, Black Pearl, and Jewel Star. So I think that if you just look at their goals, that form looks like Black Pearl has them well held. But obviously Black Pearl is coming off a long way off, and Supreme Legacy had a start advantage. That start advantage should be huge.
I think that run advantage is going to carry a lot of weight in this Guineas, that's for sure. And Danny, what's your take on it?
Well, Supreme Legacy, there's a bit of a personal bias towards this horse from my side, because I saw him as a 2-year-old and I sort of saw something in him which said on his dam line as well that he would be a Derby horse. And I'm very happy to see him racing in Calcutta, and because I think he's a horse, he'll enjoy more distance. He's done his 2 7 furlong races, and his lead up to this was another very easy, comfortable win, although he beat a very mediocre field. But his style of winning shows that he's definitely I would say in the right place for Friday's 2000 Guineas. He's got the class, he's got the lead up run, he's done it all, he just has to produce it in the race. If he's going to be a Derby horse, we'll see it on Friday.
Well, we've got quite a rapport there from everyone about Supreme Legacy, starting with Melissa and then endorsed by Danny. And as James said, the benefit of the race run. If it gets tight and if it goes to the wire, that's definitely going to benefit him. But it's an open Guineas. It's on Friday, the 18th of December, and on that day we're going to see a new miler from amongst the 3-year-olds be crowned a champion.